I want them to say that. Because then I know I'm actually living closer to my level of where I should be. So, passion is energy. That's the first thing. Second word that comes up is reason. Now, reason is an old-timey word. Folks don't really use it anymore. But to me, reasoning skills are simply what I was taught at Harvard Law School, critical thinking skills. Now, why are critical thinking skills required for future success? Critical thinking skills are required because you can have all this energy in the world, but unless you actually think critically about how to specifically apply it, you still won't make a difference. Critical thinking skills or reasoning skills reminds me of this is my third day of class at Harvard Law School. Who here has seen a movie I did with Denzel Washington called He Got Game? Seen that? So if you've seen that, you know I'm a really good basketball player. Do you guys play basketball at VCU? You do? Okay, good. I like your team. I really do. I got a hat today. I'm excited. I'm going to wear it. It's going to be good. So, third day of class at Harvard Law School. I want to blow off some steam. There's a gymnasium right on the Harvard Law School campus called Hemingway Gymnasium. It's right next to the Harvard Law Review and right across from the Harvard Law Library. So I decided to take a break. I decided to go over to the gym. I walk in the gym, and there's nobody there. What's interesting about being at Harvard Law School, the library was full, but the gym was empty. So I was there by myself, but it made me think something about folks' motivation and what their critical thinking skills were applying their energy to. But whatever. I still want to play basketball. So I played for a while. It wasn't that fun because I was by myself. And just as I decided to leave, I got to the door, and in walked this tall, skinny guy. His shorts were his socks were a little too high. His shorts were a little too small. You all wouldn't remember this, but way back in the day, with Dr. J. Larry Bird time, they used to wear like short shorts to play basketball. When Michael Jordan came around, they got longer. I don't know why, but they just got longer. But this guy had that old school look going on. It seemed a little odd to me, but I was excited because I wanted to play basketball. So I ran up to him and I said, "Hey man, you want to play basketball?" And he looked down at me and he said, "Well, why else would I be in the gym?" I said, "Don't get smart with me, dude. You don't know me like that. I'll cut you. I'll do something. You don't know me." So I said, "Great." I said, "What's your name?" He says, "My name's Barack." I said, "Barack, nice to meet you." Turn around, it's got Barack Obama. And as we got to talking, we realized it was his third day of class too. We realized we're in the same class. We started playing more basketball and got to know him. And I'll tell you, the more I got to know him, the more I looked up to him. And not just because he's taller than me. It was interesting because, when you're in your early 20s and someone's almost 30, they're so old. I just came straight from undergrad to grad school, and he had spent almost 7 years after college working as a community organizer in Chicago and decided to come back to law school. So although we're in the same class, it seemed like he had so much more worldly experience than I had. But what was so interesting about him is that I thought his critical thinking skills or his reasoning skills were right on point. The one thing they teach you well at Harvard Law School is if you have a case that you're working on, that you're reading, that if you're arguing one side of the case or this side of the case, you should be able to pick out things that corroborate or support your point. You should be able to find and do research to find other cases that would support your point on whatever side. And you have to be a good critical thinker to understand both sides of an issue to actually affect that. And I really felt that Barack really had that down. That he was intelligent, that he was energized, that he was driven. And he also, what I liked about it, is that he was a critical thinker in the sense that he didn't do what people told him to do or they thought he should do. Number one, at almost 30 years old, he decided to go back to school. Most people told him, "Don't go back to school, man. You're almost 30, you're going to want to start a family soon. You don't want to incur $100,000 in student loan debt going back to school. That doesn't make sense." Another thing, when he graduated from Harvard Law School, he didn't take a Supreme Court clerkship or the next best opportunity, being president of Harvard Law Review. He decided to write a book. And people said, "He's crazy. He's not taking a good job. He's not actually going to clerk for the Supreme Court. He's going to write a book." What sense does that make? There are so many people that will attempt to be your critical thinker. You have to be your own critical thinker.